Thank you so much for joining the Consult Dr. Michelle podcast. And I am so excited to announce our guest today. Remember, the Consult Dr. Michelle podcast is intended to be a purveyor of hope, love, joy, and gratitude. And our guest is certainly a purveyor of those things. She is an urban fiction author. Diane Parker is also an entrepreneur. She is a mentor and a community leader. Not only does she extend herself to the community, but she is a loving and attentive mother of three beautiful children. She graduated from Strayer University with an associate's in business administration in 2021, and she is continuing her studies in criminal justice. Her mission is to be the change that she wants to see in the community. She's enjoyed this journey thus far, and she organizes summits for the youth, and she also provides free services to help them out. She feeds the homeless, and people are her passion, and she loves what she does. And I'm so grateful to have come across her path. And I know that you're going to be delighted with the wisdom and the nuggets that she shares with us while she's on her journey. So we welcome our guest, author J. Diane Parker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. As we meet today, and you listen to our description of our show, to be a purveyor of hope, love, joy, and gratitude. And just looking at your bio and just meeting with you and watching you now, I'm a faithful follower on your social media.
Yeah.
How do you feel like, yes, how do you feel like those things resonate with what you do?
It definitely resonates when we speak of hope, gratitude, all of those wonderful things. When I'm going out into the community and I'm talking to people that, don't have homes and living on the street and stuff like that, they don't have anything to eat, they don't have any clothes or anything. And for me to show up for them, and that's my slogan, when I go out and feed them, I'll have it on the board, you're worth me showing up for. That gives them hope, and it also gives me hope as well, because when I go out there, it's not just me. Sometimes I always try to pull somebody along that's willing to come out and help me, and to see people volunteer and they're like, oh, whatever you need me to do, wherever you want me to, pick up and help at, I'm willing to do that. So that gives me hope as well, that change can happen. If everybody just come together, change can happen. And it's always, for my part, I can speak for myself, it's
Yes.
definitely gratitude, because I always, going through some of those things myself, I always wondered, like, hey, is there a light really at the end of the tunnel? Like, sometimes when you're going through those things, you don't really see the rainbow with the pot of gold in the end. You're stuck in that moment, and it can be discouraging. It can be challenging, because you're like, okay, is somebody gonna come and give me a helping hand? Is somebody gonna stop and just check on me? So right now, for me to be in the position I'm in, I'm not rich or anything like that, but I am rich in spirit. I am rich in love. And that's what I can give. And to see the smiles on the faces, young and old, it blesses me. That's my reward. I really, really love to see that, and to know that I can go out here and make a change, then anybody can definitely go out here and make a change.
You really are one of those difference makers. And I heard you say, I'm not rich, but I'm rich in spirit. And how does being rich in spirit um, equip you with what you need? Because the task that you've taken on is so vast. I just can't imagine. Our homeless population is growing exponentially all over the nation, probably all over the world. And you've taken this upon yourself to say, I'm going to make a difference however I can. How does being rich in spirit strengthen you so you can keep doing this mighty work?
I would definitely say being rich in spirit, praying to God. Um, without God, I couldn't do the things that I do. You sit and sometimes you think the material things. Yes, you need the money. Yes, you need this, that, and the third. But you also need to be equipped when you're going out here to the people as well, because it's not just about the food. Sometimes I have people come up to me and have stories to tell me, and I need to go in my mode to encourage them, to let them know that, okay, look, this is going to be okay. God didn't bring you this far to leave you, and I'm here to show up. So it's a sign that something is happening. He's hearing your prayers, um, and to definitely be equipped with the spirit. Let me tell you something, because you don't know those who in church. See, I grew up in church all my life. Let me tell you
Yes,
something. Pentecostal church, okay. And we seen a lot of different things take place, when I was a little child. So when I say be equipped, you have to be equipped, because you don't know what type of people you're going to encounter.
yes,
When you think of talking about people that are homeless, there's some people that have mental illness. You don't
yes,
know what you're coming up against, and I always, pray and tell God, ask God rather, um, that I be in position, and that I only, whatever I need to do in that moment, then I ask for him to allow me to do, to give me the words to say, and to also show them the light of the, because God is love,
yes, yes,
and want people to see the light. We want people to see the light in us. So that's my goal. So when I go out here, I want to make sure that, I done pray and ask God, is this a location I need to go to, God? First of all, because we got to be wise as well. We can't just jump out here and go everywhere. Yes, I want to help. But also, if some things, if God don't lead me to do some things, I'm not going to do it. And that's why I recently had to cancel an event. And a lot of people was like, oh, well, why you cancel the event and this and the third? But I don't want to put myself and my name in a position where people get confused on what's the mission, what's the goal.
yes,
Um, Even though it was an event to raise money, but people can still get the wrong idea and think, oh, well, she's entertaining this thought. She's entertaining this type of event. So
yes.
maybe, you know, is it really, is this the mission? Or, I don't want people to get confused. My name is attached to it. So you have to be cautious, and you have to be equipped. You definitely have to be equipped. You have to be spiritually aware of what's going on. With the times changing now, and so many different things taking place in the world, from violence, hunger is being, yes, that's a major issue as well. But we have a lot of violence, gun violence happening. We have a lot of young people falling by the wayside. So
Yes.
we definitely have to be spiritually equipped when we go out here, and we're talking to people. Even on your day-to-day life, you just have to be, spiritually equipped, because you don't know what you're walking into. So I always say, ask God, to guide your footsteps. And that's the advice that I take for myself.
I certainly do appreciate you sharing such a comprehensive explanation of what that means to be rich in spirit. And you talked about how you get guidance on being wise, where to go, where not to go, what to attach your name to, the impact of that, how that's going to affect other people. And it's so apparent that his hand is certainly all over you and that you walk in discernment. And what's interesting is that you're so rich in spirit, you're able to outpour to the community and be a light to people who may have lost hope and they're looking for an answered prayer. And you're saying, God, use me so that I can be that answered prayer. And you also provide encouragement and inspiration to women, in particular your journal, which is what initially piqued my interest in reaching out to you. Can you share more about your journal and how that came about?
Yes. So, when I tell people the story about how I came up with, the journal, they're like, what? They don't really believe it. But let me tell you, I initially went into urban fiction. So that's my first book was an urban fiction novel, nice little hefty book. So I'm thinking this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the part two. Did the part, started the part two and worked my way halfway through. And I literally was sitting on my balcony one day. So I'm just sitting there watching the cars and everything. And the Holy Spirit literally told me, you don't need to do a book. You need to put your life out there to help somebody else. I'm looking around like I know I'm the only one out here, Lord. What is going on? So when I say it was God, it definitely was. He gave me the title. He gave me all of the topics within like 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I literally ran off the balcony. I've got my pen and paper. I'm like writing them down so I won't forget them. And I started writing the topics. I'm like, wow, everything in that journal talks about my experiences. I don't go into detail about some things. Some things I do, but from depression, trying to handle depression on your own, sometimes it can be tough. I went through burying my first child, which led me to depression the first time. And I end up being addicted to the medication that I was prescribed. I end up drinking after that. So, and it got excessive. I became alcoholic. I would drive up and down the road. I mean, 2, 3 hours away. My friends would call me like, I know you're not out here driving and you drinking and it was something, and I, at the time I didn't, it was like, hey, this is my outlet. This is my release. This is how I'm coping with things. And going through depression while in the middle of doing all of that, I really could have killed myself or killed somebody else. I also talk about being addicted to the wrong people. I talk about regrets. I talk about forgiveness as well. How it took me, I was talking on a podcast and I was telling the lady, and I said, well, it took me like 10 years to forgive one individual, and the goal is now, to, hey, we got to minimize that. Instead of 10 years, we got to forgive that person in 10 seconds, God forgives us daily.
Yes,
So we
yes,
others. And I talk about purpose packing. I talk about no brown blues, how brown women aren't expected to express themselves a certain way. Um, all those things are things that I went through, experienced in that journal. And I hope that this journal can help women gain courage, clarity, and closure on whatever it is that they're going through, whatever the difficult situation is. I hope that somewhere in that journal you could pick up a nugget, pick up something where you can be like, oh, boom, wait a minute, this is what I was doing all this time. Maybe let me change it up and do it this way.
yes,
I also have questions in the journal that women can ask themselves, young ladies and us seasoned women as well.
yes,
We can definitely answer those questions in our own safe space. Everybody don't have a circle of people that they can just go and confide in. So that's why I felt that was important, because for me, I know talking about certain situations with people and it would get back to other people, so you're like, oh God, why did I say that? So that's why I made sure I put a section in the book where you can answer those questions, ask yourself those tough questions, answer them. And then I have a spot in there where you can, jot down notes and stuff like that. So yeah, but vibing through the chef,
yes.
that that right there is a part, just a piece of some of the things that I went through.
Yes. Diane, you are so real, so authentic, and you are so generous because you don't hold back. You're very authentic and you share just the nitty-gritty of this is my experience, this is who I am, this is how I've been redeemed. I know I've been personally inspired by your walk. What has been the feedback from other women like me to you? What are some other expressions that you're hearing regarding the use of the journal?
A lot of women I've had, they were saying, thank you for being vulnerable. I have had women say, thank you for being transparent. You know, we do want to talk about, we always want to talk about the upside of things, but sometimes people don't get what they need unless you give them the dirt, you know. Give them the struggle, let them know what you had to go through, because somebody else is going through that same thing, and they need a way out, and sometimes you could be that only person way out. I've had women send me messages, DMs rather, on Instagram. You know, they'll ask me questions and I'll send them something, you know, send them a response back. And they'll tell me, say, oh my God, this is what, you know, this is more than what I was expecting to get. But thank you. I always start my messages off when I'm talking to my sisters. I always say, I love you, sis. First of all, I love you, you know, because people don't hear that all the time,
Oh,
you know, and to hear from a stranger, that makes a difference as well. You know, I, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. I think the one was, let's see, the most unique one would probably be, I guess, the question about forgiveness. I got a lot of questions about that. Um, why was it so hard for me to forgive? Um, where am I at now in life with forgiving people? I had questions about the purpose packing. A lot of good feedback from that as well. Yeah, so far everything's been positive. Nobody's really been, you know, triggered by anything, because sometimes people can get triggered by certain things.
true.
If they feel like it's something they haven't completely healed from, you can definitely be triggered. That's another reason why I didn't put certain things in the journal, because I feel like I need to be completely healed from that, and that's just being honest. Um, but yeah, wonderful, wonderful feedback.
I want to unpack a term that you have presented, purpose packing. I think I know what that means, but I want to hear from you the definition of purpose packing.
Purpose packing for me is knowing your purpose, and living in it, going through it 110%.
Yeah.
No slack. If you feel like you're getting slack, pray about it so you can get back on course. Um, it's important to know your purpose. For one, a lot of people, sometimes we don't live we don't live the way we should if we don't know our purpose. We'll be all over the place. I can say that because I've been there. Um, I thought my purpose one time was to open up a security company, start a security business. I thought my purpose was this. I thought my purpose was that. Um, until my pastor, we were talking, this is probably about 8 years ago. And she said, I'm assigning people to ministry. She said, don't ask me what it's gonna be today, because God got to give it to me. And if he don't give me nowhere to put you, I ain't gonna put you nowhere. And I'm telling you, she was serious about it. So
Yes.
I'm like, okay. So I always knew that I loved to help people. So when she came and she said, your ministry is going to be hospitality ministry, I was
Hmm.
like, okay, what's that about? You know what I need to do? You know what I need to do, Pastor? So she said, well, just checking on your people. She said, you may have people that you don't see on Sunday or something. Call and find out how they're doing. Do they need anything? Go out to the nursing homes, talk to the people, spend time with the people. Just people in the community, you know, show your love, let God's love light show through you. And I'm like, okay, you know. So that's what I started doing in the church. Not knowing years later I was going to start a business where I sell my inspirational shirts, embracing the struggle for us only temporary. Starting that, using the profit from that, because I'm not nonprofit yet. using the profit from my merchandise to be able to fund these events where I'm giving to the homeless, where I am doing the youth summits and women's summits and summits about mental health, showing up at the schools, talking to the young people, trying to fill the gap wherever they need the gap filled, whether it's for prom or school dances, all types of stuff. So I'm like, mm, this is my purpose, you know. And all these years I've been all over the place trying to figure out what's my purpose. So now I live on purpose, you know, for my purpose. So it's important to know, because some people don't, you know, that's their motivation.
Yes.
Know that you have a purpose in life to do something that motivates you, that makes you want to go harder. If you feel like you just out here just doing whatever, sometimes that discourages people too.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
what am I here for? You know, I don't have no reason to live. I've heard that before. So it's important to know your purpose. Find your purpose. Pray about it. You know, some, because we can lead our own selves into the wrong to the wrong thing. So yeah, pray about it, and God will show it to you. He'll reveal it. Yeah.
So Diane, you are an author, you are a business owner, you are a mother, you are a student, you are doing work at the church. I didn't include that in the bio. How do you balance all of these things? Because it sounds like your cup is still full, like you're giving, 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 and you're just energy, just a ball of beautiful energy coming over. So your cup sounds full. How are you maintaining your joy while you're doing all of this work and your balance?
Sometimes, and this is going to be totally honest. I don't want anybody to get offended, but this is going to be totally honest. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy giving. I enjoy pouring into other people. Sometimes and some days I have moments where I'm like, who was going to pour into me?
Yes.
Um, you're not asking for a, and it's not like I'm asking for a reward. It's not like I'm asking for a pat on the back. Um, but I think, I don't want to say validity either. But it's a feeling that I guess I can't pinpoint. You make it pinpoint it for me, but it's almost like you're pouring. I feel like I'm pouring into other people. I enjoy what I do, but is there going to be a moment where somebody pour into me? But right now I got everything pretty balanced. I've learned to cut down some of the things when it comes to like the community service, because it's just myself. So until somebody else is willing to step up and assist in a way, then I can do more. But I've learned to minimize that a little bit now. I'm still doing the same thing, but I'm knowing my limits, um, because my kids are number one. I
Yes.
lose sleep, you know, a lot of the times trying to be present for them. Make sure I'm always active. I'm always active with them. When I go to work, I only work a couple days a week, but I'm at home, you know, and I'm up with them, and I'm cooking for my babies and playing with my babies, talking to them, listen to them talk to me. um you know, sometimes it can be hard to balance, but now I'm finding my way to balance everything out. But yeah, I just, sometimes I have those moments where I'm like, you know, who's gonna pour into me, who's gonna send me a message? It ain't always about money, you know. Who's gonna send me a message or something one day just to say, oh, you know, I'm thinking of you or whatever. um yeah, sometimes I struggle with that a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I thank you again. Your authenticity, you being so transparent, it just continues to be a blessing, because we do have to be thoughtful. We do have to be mindful of how we spend our time, and we do need our cups to for people to pour into them so that we can continue to do a good work. Now, I know you are always working on different projects, and so can you tell us what's on the horizon far as your work as an author? Do you have any up and coming works that we can support because you're doing so much positivity in this world?
Well, as far as the author part, Vibing Through the Shift is available on Amazon. I ask that you all support that if you can. I have merchandise on my website as well. That's www.jdianeparkerllc.com. You guys can go to the website and purchase items. If you don't want to purchase anything, there's also a donation button. Anything is fine to donate. It will be applied to some of the things that I have coming up. But as far as the author part, definitely support Vibing Through the Shift. I feel like this is going to help open some doors for me. I want to be able to go out and speak to other women, speak at, right now I do like brunches and things like that, but I want to go out and speak to women who needs to hear my story, who needs to know that, okay, look, she got through it. I can definitely get through it. If they need a shoulder, if they need some help or assistance, just to find out what it is that I did to get through that certain particular situation. I'm willing to offer my advice. But coming up, I do have a empowerment summit coming up. That's in Petersburg, Virginia, August the 19th at Petersburg Public Library. I have some awesome women that are coming to speak. We're talking about in ministry. We're talking about the mayor. We're talking about different women with different backgrounds, business owners, podcasters. We have some wonderful women that are going to speak. We also have an organization in Petersburg that's going to be joining us as well. It's Mothers Against Violent Crime, who have lost their children to gun violence. They're coming to be present with us as well, to share their stories. I'm going to have activities for the young ladies to do. We're going to set it up like a brunch style. So that's going to be August the 19th at the Petersburg Public Library, from 11 to 2. If you tune in and go on my page and social media, you're going to see all the events that I have coming up. Right now, I'm accepting clothes for my giveaway, for the free giveaway to the homeless and less fortunate. I'm accepting clothes, hygiene products. I got a little toy shop I'm trying to get together for the kids for Christmas. And also Thanksgiving every year, I always do call social services and get some families and bless them with some food for Thanksgiving. So, if you go on my website, again, that's www.jdianeparkerllc.com. You can support me that way, financially, if you want to, send a donation. All that can be taken care of on the website. If you want to purchase a shirt or purchase the book or anything on my website is going to definitely go to want to help me out with these events that's coming up. I'm definitely going to, get out here in the community as well and talk to the churches and stuff and see who's willing to help. Some people are reluctant to help, but when you see where your funds are going, it makes a difference. So that's why I always, try to let everybody see what's going on, because it makes a difference where you can see what your money can do. But I'm expecting big things to happen. I want to, I'm speaking these speaking engagements to happen. I want to, start traveling with other women and talking and expressing, how we feel about things and sharing our stories, encouraging others. The summit that's coming up is Queens Empowering One Another. That's what I want us to do daily, to empower one another, encourage each other. Even a stranger, hey, I'm thinking of you, and I got a little something coming up with that too. Some little gifts. I'm going on out here in the community and I'm going to start, sharing my little love with people one-on-one, and it's going to be cute. But y'all just stay tuned and just continue to follow me.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to wrap up our session today. And author J. Diane, let me make sure I got the name correct. J. Diane Parker, I thank you. I thank you for sharing your journey with us. I thank you for sharing your story with us. You've given us so many nuggets and you provided us with so much wisdom. And I just want to encourage all of the followers of the Consult Dr. Michelle podcast to pour into this. I'm going to call it a business and a ministry because you are certainly doing a good work. You're making a difference for others. You're pouring into others' lives. And we want to be conduits by sowing into you so that you can continue to have impact. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.